Alright, my favorite people in the world. We're about to do something that I've never done before. And we're gonna do a painting stream. Hi, welcome to my hands. How's everyone doing today? I don't know what to do with my hands in this moment, as we are not actively doing anything. Ed, thank you so much for that resub. Hi, Radical. It's very weird. I'm not used to doing anything on camera, and I'm not used to doing anything like this. We're gonna try doing this for a little bit and see how this works. We're gonna be painting some models today. And I wanted to show you guys some of the models that I've painted previously. This is a Primaris Captain with a plasma pistol. And I thought he was super cool. I thought I'd bring him out. And then we've got, that wasn't a Primaris Captain, that was just a captain. This is a model from the birthday of a Warhammer store. Sock puppets. That I painted up, or this is the kind of like the look we're gonna go for in today's model. And then this is from Warhammer Age of Sigmar. One of the cooler models that I think I've ever painted. He is super, super awesome looking. Hey, Zombie! And he makes me very, very happy because he is very spooky. And I do like him. So I think today what we're going to start off with is I have some models to... What is Warhammer? Warhammer is a tabletop war game that, Hey, Chibi! Oh, Kitten Cuddles. I love Kitten Cuddles. I have a model that was based off of, like, it came in a kit of 3. And I left one unbuilt so y'all can see how the process basically starts off with. You start off with all of your models are attached to what's called a sprue, which is this plastic piece here. And, yeah, so these are hobby cutters. As you can see, they are flat on one side. I'm going right into tutorial mode. And curved on the other. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the flat piece against the model. And we're just going to lightly snip out all of the pieces. Come on. All the Kitten Cuddles. Y'all, it feels so weird to be doing this and to not have a game loaded up, to be streaming and be able to have my Twitch right in front of my face instead of off to my side screen. I missed one. So each model is attached to the sprue at certain points, and you just have to go in and just snip as close to the model as you can without cutting the model itself. And it's all things that you kind of get just familiar with as you build more and more models. I figure I've got a big kit coming in the next couple of days. So I thought maybe the next time that we do a hobby stream like this, we can do like a straight model building stream. This one is going to fit together push fit. The other ones fit together with glue. If you cut the model, does it say ouch? It does not. It does not. It just means that you have more work to fix it. And I don't have any green stuff, so I don't want to be fixing any models. So those are the Japanese style nippers I was talking about on Zombie's stream. Flat on one side. Ooh, good to know. Yeah, they're flat on... This side is flat when you hold them together. The side gets... I don't know if y'all can see that. The best way to put that. It's flat on one side, and then it's beveled on the other, so that you can get really, really close to the model. And then safety first, but I am going to take my hobby knife, which is basically just an X-Acto blade in a hobby knife. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly scrape and get all the excess plastic off, because these are injected molded plastics where the two molds come together and make a full mold going this way. So you basically have 2 boxes and they come together, and that seam in between like my fingers and where my thumbs are, that's gonna have a little extra like flashing on the model. So we're just gonna clean that up real quick. And they do make a basically a safety blade for things like this called a mold line scraper. But yeah, not the fun type of flashing. Thanks, Radical. So they do make a like kids version or a friendly or a skin friendly. I've built up a callus on this thumb from doing this for so long. It's gonna be a very informative stream. I know nothing about any of this. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna get into some painting and stuff like that. I've done a little bit today just to get ready. Luckily, I had off today. I'm just going to clean up all the little extra nibs of plastic that are on these pieces real quick. And it's really just pretty simple stuff. Like doing this is the easy part of hobby modeling. Putting the models together, which is why you'll see a lot of people in gaming stores. Yeah, metal models are a completely different story. They take a lot more work than these plastic models do. You're talking about filing metal versus just cleaning up like little plastic sprue bits. Exactly. Check around, make sure we didn't miss anything. Ed, how you doing? How's things? Y'all, and if my hands get out of frame, let me know, just because I'm not used to doing this. So for those of you who don't know, I used to run a gaming store for a little while. It's where I met Zombie. So I used to do this basically 40 hours a week. Probably more. I got paid to do it for 40 hours a week, but probably more. I did miss pewter Warhammer figures, so weighty. Yeah, they had... But carrying your army around was like... It was literally a workout. I'm doing really well. I'm doing really well. I'm glad that the holiday season is over. I'm glad that we are moving into a brand new year here. Little tiny movements. I'm excited for what's going to come in 2023, and this was the first of the things that I really wanted to try doing. And I think that it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have some fun with it. We're going to, hang out. We're going to see how it goes, basically. Get all the little mold liney things off of there. Helmet's looking good. And as much as, like, I used to do this for work, I also used to do it for fun. You should have seen me trying to come home with, like, an entire big box full of models. I'm getting a notification. Who wants to talk to me? Flash cleaning ASMR. If only y'all could hear it. It sounds lovely. I'm talking about like my built models. I used to come home with like all of my paints, all of my models. And just so y'all know, when I say all of my paints, this is, I think, a fifth of them. I have a big box full of paints. So I used to drag those home, and then I'd model at home for 5 hours, and then I'd go back to the store and I'd do it all again the next day. And I would hobby and model some more, and yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. I got really, really into it. So when I left the job at the gaming store, I was so burnt out. I was like, I don't want to paint another model for like the rest of my life. And then I decided, Mr. Me actually brought this up. So yeah, then I found computer games and got sucked into those. And then Mr. Mia brought this up when I said that I was getting a little I don't want to say bored with Minecraft, but bored with Minecraft, for lack of a better term. I was getting a little burnt out on it. After about 6 or 7 years, I was just like, I need a break. And so I bought a webcam and bought some stuff, and we're here building models together. All right, this should be the last little bit. Okie dokie. So the models do come with instructions, just so y'all can, I don't know if y'all can see that with the glare on the, there's no way to cut the glare on that, but we're building this top guy here, and it tells you basically just how to put them together. And it's, you know, really simple. All the parts are numbered. They're numbered when they're on here. There's little tiny itty bitty numbers, and it'll tell you what part goes to what. But because I've built these before, they're pretty self-explanatory. You know, obviously the back piece goes on the back, the front piece goes on the front. You kind of sandwich the head in the middle. So we're going to get that started. And like I said, these are push fit models, so they fit a little differently. They fit together. They're meant to be built without plastic glue. So they fit together snugly, and you basically just put them together kind of like Legos. But the models that we'll be getting next week don't fit together like this. Destructions. We don't need no destructions. Exactly. The models we are getting in the next kit will not have this push fit. They'll need to be glued together. Picasso Warhammer. Exactly. Oh, you know what? That would probably be easier to put the arm on this way. Maybe. Come on. Get in there. And then if we put this arm in here, kind of like this. Yep. And turn that and push that into there. And there we go. And then their bases come and they're slotted. A lot of the bases aren't going to be slotted. They're going to be more solid. So we'll have to glue the little dude down. But that is a... that is basically how to build a little Space Marine guy. So we're going to put him to the side. So once you're done building your models, you have to do something called priming. And priming is basically using a spray paint can, basically, and you spray them and they come out looking like this, which is black, and it gives the paint something to adhere to. So basically, I painted this guy up down in my basement with black spray paint, specifically model primer. And then we're going to base coat this guy, but I already do have another one waiting in the wings for when we're done with this guy, because he'll need to dry for a little bit. So the color we're starting off with is Thousand Suns Blue. As with most paints, you want to give them a good shake when you first get them. Now, the reason I have this ceramic tile here, and y'all feel free to ask any questions, let me know if I'm moving too fast. The reason I have a ceramic tile is because ceramic tiles make a really good palette for when you're painting models. Because once the paint's dry, you can... Oh, I just got paint on my mic. Good job, Mia. It is Citadel primer paint. Yeah, it's a glazed, like glazed bathroom tile. And I always thin my paints down with just a smidge of water until you get like that consistency. I don't know if y'all can see how consistent it is. But we're just going to put some paint on the model. I'll bring it up a little closer to the camera so y'all can see. It actually is paint from Citadel. I pretty much, because I used to work for the company that makes Citadel paints, I pretty much only have Citadel paints. I've got a couple of other things like branching out from Citadel. And this is kind of one of those processes where you have to trust the process a little bit. You don't worry too much about getting it on things that aren't going to be that color. This is just your base coat, so things can get colored the right way. But yeah, at the end of all this, when I go to clean up for the night, I will basically just take my tile into the kitchen. I'll put it in the sink, run some hot water over it, and be able to just take the paint right off with a little scrubby. Which is why I like to use ceramic tiles as my palettes, because they clean up really, really easily. And then next time we paint together, you won't even see a speck of paint on the tile. So yeah, this is one of those messy practices. I want to go into Raymore Flanagan or Sherwin-Williams with some Warhammer paint. I'd like to paint my bathroom ultramarine blue. I bet they could color match it for you. I don't recommend not using model paint on models though. So like if you do go, don't try and use that gallon of, you know, semi-gloss to paint your models. Model paint is formulated differently than household paint, just in case you're thinking. It is an acrylic paint, so it is water-based. And I know Citadel brand at least is completely non-toxic, so if you want the little ones to get into it, if they happen to eat some of the paint, it is okay. It is okay. My friend in college had his Rust-Oleum army of Terminators. Oh no. The same even goes for spray paint. Household spray paint is formulated different than model spray paint. Sam, I don't recommend feeding it to your children because, of course, anything is not good for kids in large doses. So I don't recommend feeding it to them, but it is safe if they eat a little bit of it. So basically, I'm going to cover this entire model in this Thousand Suns blue.
Drink water. Dehydrated bitch.
Thank you so much for the hydrate reminder. Mr. Mia, if you were in chat and not in a game, could you do me a big, huge favor and bring me a water bottle full of water? Because I forgot to get water before stream. I was nervous. This is Warhammer. This is a Primaris Space Marine. It's a Primaris Intercessor, sorry. But yeah, we're painting him up. We're gonna do him in my own version of a chapter that I came up with ages ago. So we're gonna see if we can remember. And I'm gonna put this out there. You are not a true Warhammer model painter until you have drank your paint water at least once. But yeah, we're just on the base coating step at the moment, so you came at a really good time. There's no turpentine in the water. It's water-based paint, so it's just regular plain water. You just might find some paint bits floating in it. Yeah, I think if you've ever painted models, we've all drank the paint water. I used to have a coffee cup that I would keep at work that was one for my coffee and then one for my paint water, and every once in a while you get the two mixed up. I've got way too much paint on my brush as it is creeping up into the ferrule. You have returned with a beverage. That's good. What are you drinking, Sam? What's in the cup? Better question yet, Sam, is it Ghost Cup? Do you use Ghost Cup off stream? Brandy got some eggnog, so now I just gotta finish it. Such a shame. You do not use Ghost Cup off stream. Good night, Ed. Thanks so much for stopping by. I miss you. I hope you're doing fantastic. Say hi to the family for me. All right, so he is base coated. We'll give him a few minutes to dry. It shouldn't take long. Acrylic paint dries fairly quickly. So I'm not super worried about him taking forever to dry. And then we're going to do something called washing. And I know that sounds counterproductive, but it won't be. Let's just get a little bit extra on his legs. I want to make sure Ghost Cup lasts as long as he can. As you should. As you should. All right, so he is done. What I bought for this stream, just to show you guys, is this lovely little thing. It's got all of my brushes on it. That's what these black spiky things are. But down the bottom of this cup are some little like nubs and stuff like that that really get into the bristles of the brush. Hi, Chris. Welcome on in. And give us a chance to like really clean the paint off the brush. And then we'll pull it out. And then all of the paint is off the brush. I will go in with some paint cleaner or some brush cleaner later. And then it hangs your brushes so that the bristles point downwards so that when the water dries off of them, they're already formed into a point. While we're waiting on that, I'll shake my wash. Chris, look what we've done so far. We've built a model. And we've base coated another. So we are working on waiting for this guy to dry a little bit. And then we'll be able to wash him and he'll be ready for like the next step of paint, which will be a lot of fun. Radical, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate you. It's an avocado. Thanks. 2 months, goodness. So y'all, tell me how you're doing. How's your New Year's going? We're still less than a week out from New Year's, so you gotta tell me how it's going. Anybody make any resolutions? That is a new sub notification, it is. It is. I went a little crazy with with making all the notifications and the you resolved to beat Mist. No resolutions for you? Okay. I resolved to be the same person I was last year. If that makes life a little bit easier. All right, he is almost there. Jamie! Hi, Jamie! Welcome on in. Jamie, we're painting dudes. We're painting little dudes, and also you can see my hands. Oh, I've got paint everywhere. Like, you should, I wash my hands, but usually I end up with paint everywhere. I remember one time I came home from work, I had bright green paint on my chin. I'll show you guys the paint. Let me find it. It was this color. I just had a line of it all over my chin. So, and that was when I was taking public transportation. Trying to keep on improving my health slowly, eating better. I know I can't start off with eating 3 almonds for breakfast and a bowl of steam for lunch. No, you can't start off like that. You do have to ease into eating better. Bowl of steam. He is blue. He is blue. We're kind of going to model him off of this guy that I've already painted. So we're going to do blues and reds and oranges and some golds and stuff. Alright, so this guy, I believe, is dry. Like I said, acrylic paints don't take very long. Yeah, he's dry. So now we're going to get to a process called washing. And washing isn't like, I'm not going to dunk him in the water pot and like... Speaking of food, have you used coffee or soy sauce or other foodstuffs to paint? I have not. I have not. Is that a thing? So this is a shade brush. As you can see, the bristles are really loosely packed together and very, 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 very bouncy. So wash or shade, whichever you'd like to call it, is a very, very, very thin paint. I like to paint with sauerkraut. Oh, I could see that. I know that you can use salt if you want to do like the rusted chipping edging on like metal pieces. We're about to hit an ad, but all I'm going to be doing is basically slathering this guy like this with this wash. And what the wash is going to do is sink into those details. So you're going to be able to see them a little easier. Basically, what wash and shading is providing dimension and shadow to a model. All those little nooks and crannies. Let's talk about way too much wash. So the thing with wash is you don't want it to pull too much. You don't want to put too much on there. Thomas's English muffins. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly where my brain went with that radical. So you don't want it to pull too much because when wash dries, you can sometimes end up with a white ring on it. And that's because you let it pull too much. So you want a little bit like there, like along that edge there, but you see where it's like dipped into the corner like that? So what I normally like to do for those is I'll just use the capillary action of the brush. And I'll just pull some of it out of that corner. Just like that. Big words, capillary action. It's really enjoyable once you get into it, Sam. Once you get into the swing of doing things and getting things done, it gets to be one of those things that like 5 hours will go by and you won't even realize that 5 hours have gone by. And granted, some people are speed painters. I am 100% not a speed painter. I like to take my time. I don't really paint like large model number batches or anything like that. Like I don't paint a whole army or anything. What I normally paint is like showpieces because I enjoy the little detailing of it all. I like the minutia of painting models. So it's like painting an incredibly detailed picture, except it's in 3D. Have I added my own thumbprint to Mister's models? So Mr. Mia does have Mr. Mia, are you in a game?
Yeah.
He's playing DBD in the other room, so he's in the middle of a game. When when I'm done washing this model, I'll go grab a model that I've painted specifically for Mr. Mia, and I'll show y'all. I should have grabbed it before the start of stream, but I forgot. Oh, that's too much wash. There is actually, on plastic models, what you can do is you can use Simple Green to strip the model clean. You'd basically soak it in a tub of Simple Green. On metal models, acetone, or, to be honest, brake fluid. All right, I think this guy is just about washed up completely. So, now that he looks nice and juicy, Stretch, we're gonna set him to the side because he needs some time to dry, and wash takes a while to dry. At your earliest convenience, Stretch. Nice, good stretch. Mr. Mia is bringing me both my water and the model that I wanted to show y'all. That's why I specified on metal models, Radical. You only use brake fluid on metal models. Thank you, Mr. Mia.
You're welcome.
Yes, only use brake fluid and acetone on metal models. Do not use it on plastic. You will melt your models. So, this is one of the models that I painted for Mr. Mia. He is an Imperial Knight Warden, and he is done in the Space Wolf colors because Mr. Mia is a big fan of the Space Wolves. I don't know if y'all are getting good detail on him or not. I can't really tell. But he was built and painted by me. Space Vikings, yes, exactly. So he is super, super cool. And one of my favorite models that I've ever painted. Because I think he is super awesome. So just so you can see, we will probably touch him at some point during this whole painting, besides like right now. Oh, I'm glad y'all are having fun. We're probably gonna do a little bit of work on him because like we could do some edge highlighting and clean things up a little bit, add a touch more detail to him. Not that he isn't detailed, but we could add some like color in some of the buttons and things like that, you know, like do some of the chain work and things. So we could add a little bit more detailing to him just to get him looking a little bit snazzier. But we'll get to that eventually. He's not top priority on my list because he already looks darn cool. All right, so since we finished with that guy, this is what they're gonna look like when they're done. When they're done drying after being washed. I did this guy earlier today. So you see how like all the shadows and the recesses are now like, it's just a little bit more clearer. So up next, we're gonna do something called dry brushing, which is one of my favorite ways to bring out all those pop edge details. I feel like I'm giving a tutorial. So we're gonna grab a little bit of just some paper towel basically. And I'm gonna grab this is a dry brush. So dry brushes are usually flat on the end and they've got some very, very loosely packed bristles in there. We're gonna use, so if you look at these colors, it's this is the darker color, this is gonna be your base color, and then this is gonna be your highlight color. So it's gonna be a little bit lighter. Let me give it a good shake. Y'all can't see me shaking, so there you go. I'm glad y'all are here. I was worried that this stream was going to be boring for people. So I'm going to grab just a little bit of this on the tip of my brush, kind of like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get most of, we're actually going to, contradictory, we're going to wipe most of the paint off this brush. And what you want to see is barely any paint coming off the brush. So when you do it on your hand, you see the little color that comes out on it. And then we're just going to basically dust the model. We don't want to press too hard. So you're going to treat it like it's a feather duster over the model. And all it's going to do is it's going to catch all those raised edges. And it's going to make them pop just a little bit more. So it's going to be your accent color to the, if I don't drop the model, because I do that frequently. But it's going to catch all those loose edges, and it's just going to make the very, very edges stand out a little bit. You know what I should be doing? I should be using this thing. My rip sound's not working, apparently. I don't know why. I'm sorry, Sam. Rip on the rips, because apparently that's not working. So yeah, it's spring-loaded, and it holds the base of the model. And it just gives you something a little more firm to hold on to. So I'm only going to do the front of this model so that I have something to show y'all when I turn it around to the back. Just so you can see the difference for right now. We'll do the back of it in a second. It's just I want to be able to show you the difference between what it looks like on the front and what it looks like on the back. And yes, by the end of this stream, I will have paint all over this hand. But do you see how this looks now where you can see the shadows and then you can see the edges are really like light and popped, as opposed to this side where it is basically just all darkness? So what we're going for is something more like the front of the body, where it just looks a little bit more like brightened up. I guess the best way I can show you what edge highlighting looks like is to actually not edge highlight, dry brush. All right, I dry brush on here, on this black gun here, we should start to see a little bit more of the color. I'm just going to put that against my hand so I can have a little bit more stability. Blue is probably not the right color to go against the black, but it should still show up. Campy, welcome on in. Thanks so much for the resub. 25 months, holy cow. But can you see on the gun, come on, focus. There's a little bit more edging on the gun instead of just it being flat black. You see a little bit more of the blue edging, especially around here. And that's basically what we're looking for when we're dry brushing. Campy, how's things? How's life? So fun fact, Campy is one of my real life friends, and I met him because I ran the gaming store after he did. So we met because of this hobby, and now we continue to work together, the rest of us. Sam, you know that is not what I meant. But Campy is one of those people that I've met in real life. And not just been a voice or a picture on a screen. So, this is basically one way to highlight your models. It is not my preferred way of highlighting models. So I like something called edge highlighting. Radical. What are you doing? Thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate you. This is not a cheap hobby. And we will have some things coming out. Radical, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. We will have some things coming up for things like bits when we do like a charity stream. I was thinking we could do like a charity painting stream for when we start doing for like Extra Life and things like that, where the giveaways are the models that we paint on stream. I just think that'd be really cool. So you guys, you know, I can send you the models, and you guys would have a piece of stream history to basically hang out in your house. All right, so the back is looking much better now, where you can start to see how it's catching the edges of those things. I do want to show y'all what edge highlighting is, because it is my favorite part of painting models. And it's not something we would do right now usually, but I do want to show y'all because it's, like I said, one of my favorite parts. So I'm going to take my itty bittiest brush, which is this one. Yeah. So just so y'all can see it. Come on, focus. There is my itty bittiest brush. So what I normally do is I take just a smidge of the paint, and I'll take it on like this knee plate here, and we'll just run. This is the part where, Sam, you might not like doing this part, and we'll just do something like that. So if you're not big into detail, you don't have to do it this way. You can just do it with the dry brushing. But this is one of my favorite things to do. It is very much like it's like a cathartic thing for me, because it takes a little bit of concentration. I don't have to think about anything else. I can just think about this. It's not the best stream activity, so we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. But I do just want to show y'all what it is. Only because it takes so much concentration that I can't do a bunch of it at one time and still maintain a conversation. So, edge highlighting. I'm not patient enough for the detail work like this. It does take a little bit of patience, and you do get used to it. You do get used to it. But now that we've basically dry brushed our model, we can start adding a little bit more detail to it. So what I do actually want to get out so there's a reason why, again, I haven't put my face on camera, is because I make the most insane faces when I'm painting. You can ask Mr. Maya. I make the most insane faces. I bite my lip. 9 times out of 10, you'll find me with at least a little bit of paint on my lip because I have a tendency to lick my brushes. And I know that that sounds wrong, but it's after they've been washed. I will basically put them in my mouth and use my tongue to make them back into a point. So I'm going to use this insanely very pretty gold paint. And we're going to do some of the detail work on this guy. Yeah, as long as it's not radium, I should be fine. It's acrylic paint, Sam. And I've only found 1 or 2 that taste awful. So what I'm going to do with this guy next, Nuln Oil does taste bad, is we're going to paint the little emblem on his chest. Nuln Oil tastes bad, and then any of the texture paints that GW makes that have any kind of grit to them, if you happen to end up with any of that in your mouth, it is awful. So we're probably going to be swapping between a bunch of different colors here as we go through, and I'll explain. But I want to do the emblem on his chest in this pretty gold because it is one of the prettier colors that I think fits for this. And then check around. I don't think that there's anything else I want to do in that gold color, but I'm going to switch to black and do some of the bits between his armor. So if you look at the model that we painted here, you see like behind his knees where the armor is kind of like softer and things like that. That's where we're going to paint black. And we'll touch up the gun and make sure like none of the blue got on the gun or anything like that. So Mr. Mia paints with his tongue out, Radical, just so you know. He sticks his tongue out basically when he's doing just about anything that requires a bit of concentration. And it's like genetic too, because his nephews do it too. His dad does it, his brothers do it, they all do it together. Back when I first started this hobby, was back when adult coloring books became really, really popular. And I was like, oh, I should get one of those. And then I realized that I paint Warhammer models for a living, basically. And I was like, don't need to do that. I already paint pretty things. All right. Let's go to his back. We'll get his knee joints with some black here. Come on. And of course, you don't have to be this detailed. There are actually standards in wargaming if you want to do tournaments, but if you don't want to do tournaments, there aren't any standards. That's one of the nice things about these models, right? Is you can paint them any color you want, any way you want, any, you know, if you wanted to leave them at this. This is technically, the way that I have this painted now, because it is 3 colors, is tournament legal. 3 color standards, exactly. Because this is black and gold and the blue, 3 colors, that's all we need. So you could technically leave this as it is now and be like, okay, I'm ready to go play in a tournament. We're not going to do that because we're not going to play him in a tournament, but you could absolutely do that. I'm just going to touch up his gun a little bit. I will not be showing you how to play the game, Sam. I do not have time nor the knowledge any longer of the rules. So games of Warhammer can sometimes last upwards of 3 to 4 hours. And I don't have the time to devote to that. I say that as I sit here with a model in my hand that is probably going to take me 3 years to paint. Or at least, I mean 3 hours. Sorry, I was reading Mr. Mia's message. So I did go to a tournament once, and I played at Adepticon in Chicago with, actually with Camphy and a couple of my other friends. And if you give me 2 seconds, I'm going to show you guys what we played an awesome chapter of Space Marines called the Raptors. And we did a lot, and I'll pull out more stuff as the whole painting stream thing progresses. I didn't want to pull everything out and show you guys everything in the first stream because, you know, where's the fun in that? But I'll show you guys one of the perks of being a tournament player here in just a sec. There we go. The gun is looking much less blue and a lot more black like it should. So we had some custom dice made up for us. We actually got 2 sets of this done. And so we have the green set. And that's the raptor symbol. Actually upside down. But that's the raptor symbol. It's an eagle head. Or a hawk head or something like that. And then we had this set made up. And I like this set better than I like the green and gold set. But, oh boy. They are like super shiny because y'all are getting a massive glare. I don't know if y'all can see the, pull it down a little bit maybe. There you go. There's the head on it. And the heads are the 6s. But their colors are the same colors as this guy. And this guy is basically he was like the leader of my battalion of the army. All right, so we got some black. I'm gonna go in with some silver now. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was 3 days of getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to basically play Warhammer. Just so you guys know, water bottle. I am hydrating, I promise. All right. So I don't normally paint directly. I don't normally paint on a ceramic tile unless I'm painting like base coating because I want the paint to be watered down. Usually they recommend 2 thin coats of the paint. But I'm not too fussed about it right now. So what I'm painting right now is his little communicator here. And we're just gonna paint it all in silver for right now. We'll go back in and add some details over top of it later. But the silver is gonna give us a nice base for it. It's a glazed tile, not a unglazed tile, so it's shiny. So think more like bathroom tile, less like terracotta. I specifically didn't get an unglazed tile because I didn't want it to absorb the water. If you want to continue painting and you want to continue using paints, there are things like wet palettes and stuff like that that will let you put your paints up and they'll still be wet the next day. I can't be bothered. If you don't make them properly, or if they get too much air inside of them, or if they get bacteria growth or anything like that, they can really mess with your paint. Y'all are about to see an ad. I'm sorry. Twitch makes me. But all we're doing is we're adding silver to this guy. So, nothing too fancy. I'm so glad y'all are hanging out with me, though. It definitely painting is definitely more fun when you've got friends to share it with. And I appreciate y'all letting me share one of my non-gaming hobbies with you. Let me be a massive nerd. For just a little while. We never thought you weren't a nerd. Thanks, Sam. And y'all, Sam is one of my besties, but right now he is cruising for a bruising, if you know what I'm saying. Not really. Not really. We love Sam. Even when he's being a butt, we love Sam. I'm usually being a butt to Fair. That's sure. That's sure, Sam. You're so funny. But yeah, this is one of the geekier hobbies I have. I don't know, nerdier, whatever the preferred terminology is. This is definitely one of them. But I do love it, and I find it calming and relaxing, and it's a little bit of escapism because I don't have to. Well, that sounds like fun. It is definitely one of those hobbies that I just find I can like lose myself in it for a couple hours. Mr. Mia used to lose me for like entire weekends. I would not communicate at all. I would just be lost in my own little painting world. You know, you'd do all the things, you'd forget to eat, you just forget. You just forget. So I did not get into this in the era of pewter models, Radical. I came in with plastic, basically. Like, I came in after plastics was a thing. The tail end of Finecast, if you want to talk in GW terms. Finecast was their resin models. or fail cast, whichever way you want to call it, depending on the experience that you had with it. I've only ever owned a couple of Finecast models. I never found them to be too bad. They needed a little bit more love than your standard plastic models, but they weren't awful. All right, so I think that's it for the front of this guy. We're gonna turn around to the back, and we're gonna go to his backpack here. So fun thing about Space Marines is they're actually genetically altered human beings. For those of you who don't know, a little bit of lore kind of thing. Yeah, they're genetically altered mutants, and they've got something ridiculous like 17 hearts or something like that. And there is, I don't know, 30, almost 40 years of lore history. So if you're into reading, you know, science fiction books and you like lore stories and stories about a war and things like that, GW does write some fantastic lore. So if you're into things like that, I highly do recommend checking out their black, they call it the Black Library. So could be good for you. I don't know. I never got into the lore side of things. This has always been, when it comes to Games Workshop and Warhammer and stuff like that, this has always been my passion, painting models. That's a little too much paint on the brush, Mia. What are you doing? Oh, that's a butthead move. I got a little bit of paint on the model. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet my paintbrush. I'm not going to dry it off on the paper towel too much. And I'm just going to kind of like lightly wet that paint. And see if I can get it off. If I can't get it off, we'll just cover it up. It's fine. Yeah, that's not going to come off. But, okay. Not a big deal. We'll just paint over it. So yeah, we got a little tiny bit in that, on the shoulder pad there. He'll be okay. We'll fix him. We will fix him. Your lore can be that this character is a painter and got some paint on himself while doing some painting. That is a perfectly valid piece of lore there. All right. So I'm just going to go in here and get the rest of these little air vents down and dusted. You did lore, Sam. As long as it is lore spelled with an L-O, we're fine, and not lore spelled with a U. All right. So now his backpack's all nice and pretty much done. We're going to dust that off a little bit. I'm going to pull out some brown. And I know, like, brown? Ew, brown? No. Mia's alluring. Y'all are funny. Only Mr. Mia gets to say that, though. Pull out some brown, basically, yes. So I'm going in with this really dark, it's like almost a reddish brown. At least it's got some, it looks like chocolate. we're gonna do is we're gonna paint like the grips of things. So like the grip of the gun here. And then we'll do like his belt and some of his pouches. Itty bitty little tiny detail work. But sometimes it's the details that really make the models pop. Y'all, I'm so glad that I can share this with you. And I'm so thankful that y'all are here. I know that I'm going to continue to say that for like the entire stream, but I haven't painted a model in 3 years. So I'm well out of practice for it. So I'm glad y'all are here for the re-inauguration. Head pats. I moved the model. I moved the model. Hold on. Come here. There. Hold on, I'll do it again for you. Ear pats, exactly. I honestly forgot it was a thing. Where are my channel points? Come on. There you go. Check actual head pats this time. Actual head pats. But yeah, it's been probably 3 to 3.5 years since I painted a model, so I'm a little out of practice. But it's nice that I can share my step back into model painting with y'all. So I appreciate y'all. Sorry, I know y'all can't see the little piece of belt that I'm painting because his arm's in the way, but it is under there. And then he's got a couple of pouches on his butt. I'm gonna get in there and paint those pouches. Oh, I missed a whole piece with the black. That is not Ultra Smurf Blue. Welcome on in, Tia. How you doing? Nope, we are not doing Ultramarines. We are doing my own made-up chapter. So, fun thing, when GW brought out a poster of all the chapters of Space Marines, I'm alive somehow. Well, that's good. Being alive is helpful. They specifically left a couple of chapters as unfound or rare, like ultra rare, and they just don't have pictures of them. So it encourages people to basically make up their own chapters and come up with their own color schemes and things like that, and then paint things however they want. I missed a little bit of black, so I'm gonna go back. But yeah, Tia, we painted a model, we base coated a model, we washed a model, and then we're adding some details to this guy here. We did some dry brushing, and then we went right in with some detail work. I showed a little bit of edge highlighting, but we are basing him off of this model here that I painted a while back. Black paint, please. Not those kinds of edging jokes, please. But I am going to paint his butt, so you can make jokes about that. There's nothing better than painting Space Marine Tukis. But what on God's green earth made you think that I was going to do Ultramarines? Nothing, Sam. Absolutely nothing. And I will call you a liar if you find anything better. All right. Smurf for tutorial reasons. No. No, there's no reason. Oh, you know what? I should have touched up his gun while I had the blackout. Because we did go over just a little bit with some of the silver. So I'm just going to go back and just clean up these edges. Just a smidge. Because you can see, like, here, we went over onto, I don't know if you all can see that. Yeah, we went over a little bit. So as a person who ran a GW store, I painted plenty of Ultramarines in my time. I don't want to paint anymore. Thanks, but no thanks. There we go. Cleaned up the edges just a smidge. Perfect. We're gonna go back to this gold and I'm gonna do some of the edging on his armor. Hey Angel, welcome on in. Thanks so much for that follow. I appreciate you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All that good stuff. Tia Singer sent me and I see model painting, so I must follow. Well, I appreciate it. Welcome on over. This is actually our very first model painting stream. So, yeah, we're just getting the hang of it. But I've been painting models on and off for the past 5 or 6 years. And we'll do stuff other than Warhammer, obviously, on the stream. This is basically just what I had. Oh, dang it. This is what I had on hand to paint. So therefore, this is what we are painting. It's all right. We're going to color in those pads anyway. Yeah, since I used to work at a Games Workshop store, I have a whole bunch of Games Workshop models. So, you know, convenience is everything, and models are expensive. Wargaming is not for the faint of wallet. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, wargaming is definitely not for the faint of wallet. This hobby is quite expensive. It's a fairly large buy-in, but a lot of the materials, like when you get to the point where you own like the entire paint range and stuff like that, unless they bring out something brand new and you go, oh yeah, must have, because I do a lot of that, like when they brought out contrast paints and stuff like that. Yeah, if they don't really change their paint too much, you don't really... These are Warhammer nerds like me, but it's been so long I've lost the pick of the tables and the Death Guard units. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I'll have to send you... I can send you some of my stuff. Or, I've been slowly posting pictures in my Discord. So if you'd like to join the Discord, it's !Discord. And that'll bring up the link. And I've been sharing photos of... Oh, here. I showed off the knight that I painted for Mr. Mia, but I can show it again. Here's my baby. He's a biggin. He's a big baby. But he was one of like my favoriteest of models. Omega, welcome on in. My stream's extended warranty is expired. Oh no, what am I gonna do with my life? I'll just have to extend it. But yeah, he is, I painted him for Mr. Mia. Mr. Mia plays Space Wolves, or played Space Wolves, or collected Space Wolves. I don't know that Mr. Mia actually ever played. This was, I think, a birthday or an anniversary present or something along those lines. But, we're gonna go back and we're gonna probably touch him up, clean up some of the things. Kitten cuddles. But yeah, all his arms are... You can move his arms around and point them at different things. But yeah, he's super cool. I love him. We'll probably go through and do like some edge highlighting and stuff like that. Ooh. Omega's cuddling all the kittens. So, y'all, I did make it so that when you cuddle a kitten for the daily, like, the daily thing, you do get a random kitten to cuddle, and it is based off a list. How did you get that to articulate that big model? It comes that way. It's built into the kit. It's built into the kit. Yeah, it's all rotating ball and joint on his elbows. Radical. Okay, yeah, take your time. Be in and out. I'm happy to be your background noise. Okay, so let's do the shoulder pads. And I think what I want to bring in is some of this orange, and maybe a little bit of the red. A La Perm short hair kitten. Ooh. So I think we're going to bring in a little bit of the red. There are some colors when you're painting models that are harder to paint than others. Yellow, white, orange, pretty much anything in that kind of color spectrum. Black is, believe it or not, black is extremely hard to paint, and I'll tell you why here. Because you never paint true black. Black is not a color in you're not supposed to paint true black. I don't know if you saw, like 2 months ago, Wizards released Warhammer 40k pre-constructed commander decks for Magic. Ooh, interesting. I know what you meant. So I think we're going to paint this guy's shoulder pad over here. I think we're going to paint it red. So shoulder pad colors in the mythos of Minecraft have meaning. I don't care what the actual, like, literal meaning is. I just want to paint pretty colors. Never really been one to paint by the books anyway. You know, if you wanted to paint by the books, that's perfectly fine. That's the fun of this hobby, is you can paint whatever color you want onto your models. If you want to paint them bright green with polka dots, you absolutely could. Oh, that's cool. What about Minecraft? This is not Minecraft. But yeah, if you wanted to paint this guy in Ultramarines colors and have him, like, for a specific regimen and stuff like that, you absolutely could do those things. I don't care enough. I said Minecraft. Oh, goodness. Sorry. I meant Warhammer. I meant Warhammer. I'm conditioned that when I'm streaming, I talk about Minecraft. My bad, y'all. Classic Mia, that's right. Classic Mia. And then I also want to, and y'all are gonna laugh at me, but I want to paint his eyes red. So I don't know if y'all can see his eyes. Come on, camera, focus. His little tiny eyes right in his helmet. Can't see where my finger's pointing at. But we're gonna paint those two little eyes red. So I've got out my itty bitty little brush again. Oh, there we go. Boop and boop. When I'm doing itty bitty little things like that, it's hard for me to talk while I'm doing it because normally I'm doing the silly thing of holding my breath. Because it just helps my hands be just that much more steady. I'm gonna just go back and check that we touched. Dang it, today. There we go. Get that off the red real quick. We'll get it off the red. It's fine. He'll be fine. All right, so there's a couple of more things that I just want to touch on this guy. We've made really good progress. on this guy so far tonight. We've only been going for an hour and a half, so this is a purity seal. And those are traditionally red, so we're going to paint them in the traditional red color. Everyone that paints minis does that when we do detail work, I've noticed. It's an old marksmanship trick too. Hold your breath just before pulling the trigger to reduce the muzzle jump when taking the eyelashes off a cockroach. Exactly. 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 And then I'm going to grab out a different shade of brown to do the rest of his straps on his back. This one? That's pink, not brown, Mia. You know your colors. What are you doing? Too much paint, not enough table space. We're going to see an ad in about 30 seconds, but I'm painting on his back are these little straps between, like behind his backpack. I don't know if y'all can see them. They're not coming up super clear in my preview. But we're just going to paint those real quick. And then we're going to do a little bit of washing on this guy, and then we'll go in for some extra little detailed things. I do it when I'm casting big spells in Commander games, because my playgroup likes to counter the most important cards in just my deck. That's funny. Yo, we are still raising funds, even if though this isn't a charity stream. If you'd like to donate to Extra Life, you are more than welcome to. The link just popped up on stream in the chat, so you are more than welcome to, should you choose to. That is current. That is running for November of this year. That should be. I might not have changed the. I don't know if I changed the link. I know I changed it in the Extra Life command. So I don't know if I changed it in that one. Let's see. That's the right command. A tiny URL. Should be. Should be. Nope, it is not. What did I do? I changed it in something. Maybe I changed it in the pin. Hold on. My page. Come on. Pain in the butts. Settings. Oh, and now it's gonna start trying to play my own stream back to me. Sorry about that, y'all. I will have to update those commands. There's the actual Extra Life for this year. I changed it in something. Is that something in your mind? It might be. It just might be. But that is the actual Extra Life there. We are going to be probably doing a fundraiser for it soon. Putting the kiddos to bed may or may not be back. If not, have fun. Enjoy, Sam. Extra hugs for the kiddos tonight. Cause Auntie Mia said so. We're probably going to be doing an Extra Life stream here soon. I'd like to do one a quarter, culminating in like November's. Yes, good luck to the Sam. Add a little bit of different brown to his belt just so that it stands out a little bit more. And then we're going to give everything a quick wash. With two different washes, actually. We're going to just go in with a brown wash and a black wash. Let me find my washes. So we're going to start off with the brown wash, I think. And it's called Agrax Earthshade. This is not the gloss. It's not the gloss. Okay. And basically, we're going to do the brown shade all over anything that is that is gold, brown, or colored. Like we're going to put it over the red there. Once my move is done, I should be able to stream at night. It does transpire. We'll need to do another. We'll need to get together to plan something extra life related. Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll figure something out. Why are you not? Come on. Get in there. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. All right. Paint pot, stay open, please. I appreciate you, but stay open. So yeah, we're just gonna do a little bit of this over the browns and the reds and the golds. And this is just gonna add a little bit more dimension to the color. It's going to give us those shadows that we're looking for. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Omega. Your schedule is rough, and I know, and I'm sorry for it. I know that it's not anything that you can help, though. At least currently. So we're just putting a little wash over everything. So Agrax is really good if you want things to look like dirty or darken them up or whatever. What I am going to do is I'm going to put a tiny little drop in the eyes just to give them a little bit of dimension. Do this part here. It's interesting to be painting with an audience. It is not something that I think being a streamer for a little while definitely helped because I know how to basically talk to a room these days. And it's a lot easier to talk to myself more than anything else. I guess narrating what I'm doing is easier now that I've had some practice at it. So I'm grabbing some Nuln Oil, which is basically just a black wash. And all wash is, like I said before, is pretty much just thinned down paint. This is apparently brand new. I have not opened this before. It's not good. Yeah, it's a lot more narration for this than it is for gaming. And for this, we're just gonna go around these black or these silver and black items, just to give it a little bit more of a shadow and to dull it down just a little bit, because sometimes silver gets to be a little bright on a model. And this is the grim dark we were talking about. The grim dark of the dark grimness. Yes, I do feel like I've been talking more lately, or more on this stream than I do normally. But I kind of feel more like I have to talk more on this and explain what I'm doing, because there are people here that have never painted a model before, and that's okay. We love that. Yeah, silver does tend to look a little too clean on models. So the Nuln Oil kind of darkens it up, gives it a little grit, gives it a little dirt. I mean, heck, even the black looks a little too clean on most models. Exactly. Exactly. Nothing should be clean in the 41st millennia. If it's epically clean, you're doing something wrong. You're not fighting enough. At least per the lore. Alright. Making progress. And then we'll go back in, we'll add some final details. And this guy, or we'll add a little bit more detail because he's looking kind of plain right now. In the 41st millennia, there's only war. Exactly. There is only war. Give that a little touch. But it does definitely dull the shine of the silver, which definitely helps with the whole, I guess, realism aspect of things. So I feel about people who don't have at my adult job that don't have like sticky notes taped to all their monitors and stuff like that. Like if you're not doing the job, you have to be doing the job and have to have sticky notes on everything. If you don't have sticky notes on everything, you're not really doing your job. And that's not going to close properly because I broke the thing. All right, hold on. Gotta do minor surgery. Without spilling the paint, please. Thank you. First day there, bud. Exactly. I want my can paint, please. I almost feel like I need an assistant to be like, you know, hand me this paint, hand me that paint, hand me that paint. Mr. Mia, you want a job? I kid. I don't need an assistant. I just realized I should probably not shake with my right hand because it leads to misleading shadows on camera. So we're gonna go in with a little bit of this tan paint. I don't need a brush that small. Thanks. Where's my small? There it is. McDonald's was a similar environment. You could spot the new servers because their arms weren't covered in burns. Oh my goodness. Well, it's the same at any job. When I was a waitress, you could tell the new waitresses because they carried around a towel to put the dishes on their arm. They would put the towel over their arm and then put the dishes on top of them because the bottom of the plates were too hot for them. The seasoned waitresses lost all feeling in this part of their arm, so they would just put the hot plates directly on their skin. Andrew! Hi, Andrew. How you doing, buddy? How's things? How's things? Welcome on in. We were just painting some fine details on this model. Was having Orthodox Christmas with your family. Oh, wow. No, family is 100% more important than being here for stream. VODs exist for a reason. Honestly, I'm probably going to download this VOD and put it up on YouTube. Because I think it's going very well, and I'm very happy with it. All right, I'm going to grab out some fun paints at the moment. Give me one sec. Where are the fun paints? This one of them? That is not one of them. I need this one here. And that one. With these figures, is it true that every color and detail means something different? It is true. I don't care for the... I don't say I don't care about the story, because I do care a little bit about the story, but I don't pay attention as much. My models are my models, and I'm going to paint them how I want. So this is like the brightest silver paint that I have. And what we're actually going to do with it is we're going to put it in this little area on the screen here. I'm going to let it dry for a minute. Do you play the game with them, or do you just like to paint and collect them? I'm pretty much a painter. I have played the game before, but I am not like the biggest fan of playing the game. Tournaments, especially tournaments, to me are soul crushing, to be completely honest. The rules and the regulations, and I went and had fun with some friends, and it was great, and I had a blast doing it. I don't want to do it again. I'm good. I did it once. I don't want to do it again. We drove out to Chicago. From Philly to Chicago, it's about 10 hours or so, 10, 12 hours, depending. Maybe back, I appear to have lost a card, and this is no bueno. That is not bueno. I hope you find it. So then we're going to use this technical paint called Soulstone Blue. And it is a really pretty fun paint, and apparently brand new because I haven't opened it yet. And this is one of GW's gemstone paint lines. So these paints are really thick. And what we're going to do is we're just going to drop a bead of it on this little window here. And then I'm going to stand the model upright, and what it's going to do, is it made from soul stones? It might be. What it's going to do is, as the paint dries, it's actually going to sink into the lower recesses, so you'll get a glint. It'll make almost like a gemstone. Can you all see? Yeah. So it'll make like a gemstone, like a shiny screen. Oh, the paintbrush holder, this thing, is actually really cool because it's got my water in the middle, and I wash my brush in there, and then I can take my paintbrush and go like that, and it'll hold my paintbrush for me. It's really cool. Cost me $40 for that silly thing. All right. I need a little bit of Agrax. My shade brush, please, and thank you. Which one's my shade brush? That one. Because I forgot to do this one. We are going to paint over that, we're going to fix all the mistakes on the blue on this shoulder pad. But I do want to get the Agrax on the gold here. And then I want to do a little bit of the brown shade here on this parchment to show you all the detail in it. Yeah. Yeah, so it's actually spring loaded. So it just loads. You put one side of the base in one side here. And then you pull until he pops in there. And then he's snugly in there. I can turn him upside down and everything. And he doesn't fall out. Saves my hand from cramping when painting models. There we go. Much better. What does failure emote mean? What? I don't have a failure emote. I'm not sure what you're asking. One of my emotes broken? Only visible to me. I'm not sure. I have a failure channel point command. So it might be that you have the amount of points to basically do the channel point. What color? Nope, I think we're just gonna go in and paint that with the brighter blue. So I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna fix this this shoulder pad just by painting it the brighter blue that we've been using for our highlights. Sometimes we all fail, and sometimes failures are celebrations. You know? So I'm just gonna go in and give this shoulder pad a quick coat of paint. There we go. That's fun. I did make a whole bunch of new channel points
water,
and
you
things.
dehydrated bitch.
Water. Everybody drink. That is the Price is Right failure noise. All right. I have hydrated and spilt my paint, but I didn't actually spill any paint. Be careful not to drink your paint water. We made a joke about that earlier in this stream. All right, cool. Everything is looking nice and nifty. We're gonna go in and we're gonna add some extra color highlights. I need my Mechanicus Standard Gray. Prices Averted and $60 card has been located. Oh my goodness. That's one of the reasons why I bought the nifty paintbrush paint holder, is because I didn't want to risk accidentally drinking my paint water. I'm gonna grab my extra small little brush. I am glad that you found it, Omega. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna highlight a little bit of these joins in between his armor. Because, you know, sometimes it's good to have just a little extra. I'm not gonna be too neat with them because, you know, like it's not the end of the world. It doesn't need to be perfect. I say that and now I'm mad because I messed up. There we go. Just a little bit of extra pop on that. Omega, which card did you lose? I'm gonna add a little bit of this gray to like his helmet on these tubes that lead into his mask, just to break them up from the rest of his helmet. Turns out Omega is blind. It was at the top, technically the bottom of the deck where it was meant to be. I went through it 3 times and couldn't see it because I'm a dumbass. All right, Radical. Thanks so much for hanging out. Enjoy your lurk. Hope you sleep well. All the good stuffs. I paint other stuff too. It's just I used to run a Games Workshop store, so I have a lot of Warhammer models. So it's just easier for me to paint those models. My full art foil Professor Onyx Planeswalker. She's literally the crux of my combo for that deck. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you can't go losing her. I need this one. Yeah, that'll work. I'm just grabbing some extra paints now so we can do some of the detail work on the model. Yes, I would assume it is important to know where it is. So I'm just going to add just a little bit. This is the kind of fine detail work that I absolutely adore doing. I like the little edge highlighting and the little detail stuff that makes me pull out 70,000 paints because I'm about to pull out another one. Scream of pink, please. There it is. But yeah, I like sharing this hobby with y'all. I didn't realize I was going to enjoy this much, and I'm really happy that I am, but I'm also happy that y'all are here enjoying it with me. So I think this is going to become a regular thing. I don't think that it's going to become an every stream thing, but you know, who knows? Maybe it is. I don't know. Add just a little bit of touch of color to this. And then we're going to get out some red paints and do some highlights on the shoulder pad. But I think we're going to go with just the red that we have been using, which is this really bright red here. And then all we're basically going to do, I'm going to turn this model upside down so I can actually do it, is we're going to take the brush, just go very deep, very lightly into that corner there, like that. And then into the corner like that. And all that's going to do is it's just going to give it just a little bit of a highlight there. And then we're going to do a light little highlight up here on the top. Kind of like where the light would hit. Just like that. Yep. The most important part is the streamer enjoying themselves, and I absolutely am. That is not the color I wanted, but thank you for that. I absolutely am enjoying myself, but I also want to make sure that y'all are enjoying yourselves too, because if y'all are enjoying this, we'll keep going with it. and we'll keep trying things out and trying new things. I do have a rather large kit that I bought coming in. Should be here in a week or so. Which I'm super excited to get in. It'll be the first time I've bought models in quite a long time. Hey, Andrew, I'm so glad. But I'm excited. It is more Space Marines, but we're going to get to have some fun with those ones. I think what I'm going to do, and I said this at the beginning of the stream, but I'm going to say it again. When we do, like, I think we're going to do an Extra Life stream soon. And I think we're going to do an Extra Life painting stream. And I think for donations, you'll be able to pick, like, weapons and loadout, not weapons, colors and things like that. And then I'll, for giveaways for the stream, will be actual models that I've painted. Aw. So I'll be able to send you... We're about to see an ad. I'll finish talking about this when the ad is over. So y'all, we'll be right back after the ad if you happen to see one. I just don't want anybody to miss what I'm going to say. So I'm just going in and adding a little bit of brown highlighting to, like, the pouches and stuff like that. Just so that, you know, like, they stand out a little bit more, because right now they just kind of look like big lumps of brown. And we don't want that. We want them to actually look, you know, somewhat nice. So just so y'all can see how that, can y'all see that? Come on, focus. There we go. How that blue worked out on his handheld communicator. It all pulled away from the center, so it gave the look of, like, the screen is glowing. Which I think is really, really cool. It's one of my favorite things about those gemstone paints. So what I was saying was, I think for, like, the Extra Life streams and stuff like that, we'll do for donations, you can pick colors, things like that. And then for, like, the giveaways and stuff like that, I think I'm going to actually give away models, and I'll, like, ship them to your house. Like, fully painted, of course, ones that we've painted on stream together. Things like that. And I think that should be really cool. If y'all are interested in stuff like that. And then y'all can own a little piece of stream history. Alright, that should be good on that. We're gonna do a little edging on the black. Just to make it pop just a little bit more. But I want a darker color. I want, like, Stormgrim and Fur. That Skaven Blade Ninja work. But I think that should be fun. So I'm gonna do a little touch up on the highlights on the black of the gun. What colors are the chapters? What color is the chapter? Omega. Because I might have to put some limitations on some of the colors, because like some of the colors are like incredibly hard to paint, like yellow. Yellow's just difficult. Yellow requires me breaking out an airbrush. I don't really want to do that. I really can't do that on stream because it's an outdoor kind of project. So I'm just basically going around and touching like little points on this just to give it a little bit more definition, detail, things like that. So the trick that I found with edge highlighting is not to use the tip of the brush. Everybody kind of wants to go at their models this way to do edge highlighting. That's not the correct way to do it. Is not to press tip to. Very rarely do you ever want to push the tip against the model. What you want to do is you want to take the edge of the paintbrush, so the side, and kind of just touch on that edge there. And it deposits just enough paint to be a good edge highlight. There we go. Better. Looks much better. All right. What's left? The silver. So for the silver, for those of you who've ever owned anything silver, if you continuously touch or if one part's continuously exposed or it's the edge or anything like that and it's rubbed, even if it's tarnished, it still comes out like this bright silver. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do like the tiniest little details of this brighter silver on like the stuff that does get touched most frequently. We're not going to do too much of it because then it looks like fake and gross. Oh, nothing so technical as that. The only yellow is on the armor on the details. The near white grayscale. Oof. A lot of scorch marks, abandoned chapters. Spend a lot of time in the eye after all. Super light gray. Light gray is one of those really hard colors to paint. As well, like white and light gray. Like white is so difficult because you don't actually paint white. You paint super light gray. And you add white for the highlights. Because if you try to go in for just straight white, it never works out. There's nowhere to go. Yeah, you have to think about when you're picking colors for models, you almost have to think about like, is it really white? No, it's going to be a super, super light gray, and then you're going to use white as its highlight, because if you try to paint white, there's nothing brighter than white. So you actually have to paint like 3 steps darker than you want to start out at. Painting's very, very like weirdly technical. I'm just going to run a little bit along the grooves here. And then that just makes it look a little bit better on the back of the thing, like it's been set down. Super faded near black. I have the most old model someplace, probably packed and moved. Nice. Well, you have to share them. I believe there's a channel in my Discord for like sharing pictures of like gaming models. If not, I will create one tonight. And then, when it comes to gold, gold is very rarely ever gold. It's usually gold-plated stuff, so I like to take my gold and give it just a faint little highlight of silver. Oh no, I'm not saying like tomorrow or anything like that. I'm saying when you do find them. That was far too much. There we go. Far too much. There we go. So almost like the gold on it is like rubbing off. And I do the same thing on like the edges of their shoulder pads. Your glass appears to be empty. Oh no, we can't have that. We cannot have that. Now let's all take a drink break. If you have something nearby, you gotta tell me what you're drinking and then have a sip of it. I am drinking water that Mr. Mia brought for me and it's nice and cold. Wee. A little highlight on that one there. And then what I like to do sometimes is I'll go around and I'll find like these little rivets on the backpack and I'll just give them a quick touch with some silver and it just breaks up like the same color on the backpack. So it's not just the same color all over the place. It just gives it a little bit more of an interesting look to it. All right, I think this guy is getting close. I do want to add one more thing to him. And I need a very specific paint for it. There it is. Hopefully this isn't too far gone. Like I said, I haven't used my paints in a while. And so I'm hoping just with like a really good shake, they'll be okay. Oh yeah, that seems to have come back together really nicely. Kinda clumpy. Kinda clumpy. Do I have a stir stick anywhere? Hold on one sec. I do actually have a stir stick. So white paints tend to be one of the harder paints to work with, or light gray paints. They tend to get a little clumpy if they're left to sit over time. So sometimes you have to actually get in there with like a stick, or this is just a wooden cuticle pusher. And give them a really good stir. Get all of the pigment off the walls and off the sides, and otherwise they don't mix together quite so evenly. Making a mess. I probably should get one of those actual like paint shakers. That's a little bit better. So what I want to do is I want to add a different color to this guy's kneecap. Just to break up the monotony of all the blue on the bottom. So I'm gonna add a little bit of white. Oh, that's gonna come out clumpy as all get out because I didn't thin my paint down. Yep, that's gonna come out clumpy. I'm going to try and add just a little bit of water to this to see if we can't thin it out just a smidge, just so it doesn't come out quite so clumpy. It will need a second coat, but I'm going to add some thinner, some flow improver to my actual paint to kind of help it re-solidify back into actual paint. So you can make your own flow improver at home, which is pretty much what I did. I took some distilled water, and that's a little bit of like Windex in there. And it just helps to break the surface tension of the paint. And then I just put it in a little dropper bottle so that I can count how many drops I'm putting in there. That should do it. Tips and tricks. I don't know. I find it works for me. It may not work for you. You might have to actually go and buy actual flow improver. You can also use, if you use Citadel's range of paints, you can use something called Lamium Medium. And it's basically paint without the pigment in it. It also works really well if you're trying to coat something and you want it to look dull. It dries on a very, very dull finish. That's a little bit better. I don't want it so runny that it's uber liquidy, but I don't want it to be so clumpy that it's that's thick or it comes out chalky. That's better. Much better. So the other thing that we can do while we've got this guy out is we can talk about basing. I do have some texture paints that we can use. And I think this guy would look really good on some Armageddon dust. And these are basically just paints with sand in them. I do need my texture tool, which is this thing here. And then I am going to need my stir stick again. because these do separate like crazy and they need to be actually stirred because they're too thick to shake. So I'm just going to give that a good stir. And then clean off the brush really quick, or the stick really quick. Boink. Perfect. And then basically how these work is you take them, you don't want to use any paintbrushes on these because the grit in them gets into your paintbrushes and it ruins your paintbrushes. So it's okay if it gets on the model. You have to think about it like if this is dust, then dust is going to get on their shoes, you know. So it doesn't need to be entirely perfect, but you want to keep it like more towards like their feet and stuff like that. So all we're doing is we're just using the little texture tool to spread out the paint. And the reason I picked a lighter color is because our model is fairly dark. And I want them to be like contrasting. I want him to stand out against his surroundings basically. And it works in the same way. Like you could do it like if you got an entire painting table and it's all done in a desert sand environment. You could absolutely just use the one paint because it matches your table. Or you could do each model as a different one because that's the way you want to do it. And that's perfectly fine. So this will be the last thing that we do on this model because of the amount of time this is going to take to dry, because as you can see, I'm putting it on fairly thick. So in all eventuality, once I'm done putting this down on the base, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a raid target. And I'm going to thank you all for being here. Because this was a lot of fun. I really had a blast doing this. I hope you all had fun too. You know, so we're not quite there yet. We're almost there. But, yeah, I really hope you all had fun. Thank you so much for coming out and supporting me while I, you know, struggle to find what direction the stream is going in, you know, 2023, because I'm not saying that we're not ever going to play Minecraft. I'm not saying that. So there you go. So I just made it a little gritty, and once it dries, I'll give it a wash and probably a light dry brush, just to add some color and depth to it. But don't ever use, if you ever get into model painting, don't ever use texture paints with paintbrushes. And if you do, just be prepared to like lose that brush forever, because the grit gets into the ferrule of the brush, which is this part of the brush where the bristles are pinched in. It gets into this part and makes the bristles splay. Not good for your paintbrushes, so try not to do it. All right, so what I think I'm gonna do is, oh, wrong string. There we go. I'm gonna go find somebody for us to raid into. Who is live? Alright, I think I'm gonna send y'all over to a really cool DVD streamer. And I want you to go over, say hi. Don't forget the raid messages. I'm typing, my keyboard's on the other side of me these days, and it is really weird. Hold on, just want to make sure I spelled her name right. Yep, that looks right to me. All right, y'all. I love y'all to pieces. Go say hi to JG. They're doing amazing things with their DVD streams, and I will be back tomorrow or Sunday. I'll be back Sunday, and I will see y'all then. Thanks so much for hanging out. Love y'all to pieces. Bye.